Hey, good evening from New York. I'm Jacob Soboroff in for Chris Hayes. We are 85 days away from the midterm elections. And the messaging from the White House and its buds over on Fox News is that the Democratic Party is running a bunch of radicals and extremists.
We have jihadists being elected all over the place. We have this, whether it's communism, jihadism. People don't want to have radical lunatics involved in running our country, and that's what we have.
Of course, that is a racist lie. Democrats are not running communists, nor are they running jihadists. And seriously, what did he say? People don't want to have radical lunatics involved in running our country. Mr. President, the call is coming from inside the House. Just take a look at your own party. Because Republicans are suffering from what former Senate leader Mitch McConnell used to euphemistically call candidate quality issues. To be more blunt, they are running a bunch of cranks and psychos in the mold of Donald J. Trump. In Ohio, Republicans are now panicking that they will lose a safe red House seat after Congressman Max Miller refused to drop out of the race. As of something like 4 hours ago, the deadline to replace Miller on the ballot has passed. He will be the Republican nominee for his district, even after some truly shocking allegations of domestic violence were made against him. They were made by his ex-wife, Emily Moreno, the daughter of sitting Republican Ohio Senator Bernie Moreno. She's accused him of throwing hot water on her, holding a gun to her head, and possibly breaking their 2-year-old daughter's collarbone. For his part, Miller, he denies it all. He has not faced charges over those allegations. But recent polling has Democrat Brian Poindexter now leading Miller in a district that Trump won by 11 points 2 years ago. This should not be a competitive race, but it appears now to be one, because Republicans continue to nominate, to borrow a phrase, the worst of the worst. It's the same story down in Texas, where Democrat James Tallarico is actually leading. He is leading in some polls against Republican Ken Paxton in the race for that state's open Senate seat. Paxton is comically scandal-ridden. He has been indicted on fraud charges, although he has never been convicted. A court once mandated he take ethics counseling. He has been accused of essentially stealing a $1,000 pen from another attorney, although he returned it. He returned it once he was caught. At one point, the Republican Texas legislature tried to impeach him. He is also the guy whose wife announced that she is divorcing him on what she called biblical grounds. She was too polite to say it, but Paxton has been dogged by allegations of infidelity for many years. His own lawyers didn't even deny it when asked by the Washington Post. Again, this is Texas. It really should not be a competitive race. If incumbent John Cornyn had not lost to Paxton in the primary, it probably wouldn't be. But you know what? Donald Trump endorsed Paxton over Cornyn, and now Republicans need to spend money, a lot of money, to try and hold a seat in a state where a Democrat has not won statewide in 30 years. And then there's Minnesota, where primary voters are heading to the polls. They're going tomorrow. We're going to have live coverage of the results right here on MS Now. In that state's Senate race, there is a guy named Royce White. He is running to be the Republican nominee, just like he was in 2024 when he got blown out by, let me check, 16 points. And White's name may be familiar to you for reasons other than politics. He was a former first-round NBA pick who almost immediately kind of washed out of the league. He's what you might call a draft bust. And when his basketball career airballed, he pivoted to right-wing crankery. He is currently in the middle of a truly bizarre promotional stunt where he is claiming to be transgender for, let me get this right, for the purposes of basketball. He says it's in order to participate in the WNBA. Watch this.
I'm transgender. I'm a woman. I identify as sometimes identifying as a woman for purposes of basketball, professional basketball. So I'll be declaring for the WNBA draft in 2027 as well.
What? It's not just bizarre. It is transphobic. But the real star of the show in Minnesota is one of the people who endorsed White for Senate, the leading candidate in the Republican gubernatorial race, a man at this show we like to call Mike Pillow. You remember him? You remember the MyPillow guy? You might recognize him from his ads on Fox News, or maybe even from the time he tried to overturn the results of the 2020 election. He even made a little documentary about it.
I've been trying since November 4th to prove, to show what's out there. Why are these deviations that happened on election night? None of it made any sense. So I dove all in with everything I had, resources. Anytime I heard something that maybe was relevant, I went and said, looked into it, did my own due diligence, had even my own investigations. Well, on one day, I think it was like January 9th, all of a sudden, they brought me a piece of evidence that's 100% proved. It's like a print of inside the machine of the timestamp that showed other countries attacking us, hacking into our election through these machines, and it shows the votes flip.
What? Just total nonsense. I covered Lindell earlier this month on my show, Connect, including the time he reacted like this during a deposition when he was asked if customers complained about, I swear to you, lumpy pillows.
No, they're not lumpy pillows. That's not what they call on. Okay? When you say lumpy pillows, now you're an asshole. You got that? You're an asshole, is what you are. No, he's an asshole. No, he's an ambulance chasing asshole. That's what you are. Lumpy pillows, kiss my ass. Put that in your book.
Lumpy pill. I'm not going to say it again. Are we sure that guy's got the temperament to be the governor of Minnesota? By the way, Lindell is still talking about the 2020 election 6 years later. He is basically campaigning on it.
This is a spiritual battle of evil and good of biblical proportions. We agreed in 2020. We came into a historical agreement on the election fraud. She went after the machines. She named them in the movie Kill Chain. She named them. And she went after this fraud. But then she stopped after the 2020 election. What did Mike Lindell do since then? I spent $80 million trying to secure our elections in this country.
And that guy is within striking distance of becoming the Republican nominee to be the governor of Minnesota. The party of radical lunatics is already here. Keith Ellison is the Attorney General of Minnesota, and he joins me now. Mr. Attorney General, good to see you.
It's always good to see you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being here. Tomorrow night's going to be a big one because Mike Lindell might be the nominee. It is crazy to even say it. Might be the nominee for governor in your state. How are you feeling about that?
I think he will be. And how do I feel about it? Well, we got a pretty sharp candidate that he's trying to take out. Amy Klobuchar is principled. She's smart. She's up to this, and she's going to wipe the floor with him. But to be honest with, what's that?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we all need to get ready for the fact that Mike Lindell will be leading the Republican ticket for governor in Minnesota, but he's going to be up against a very formidable opponent who I have real confidence in. So Amy's going to deal with him, and it'll be bad for him. I'll put it like that.
I mean, Mike Lindell and what he may say about the election results there may very well cross your desk as the Attorney General. Are you preparing for him to make more bogus claims of fraud if he loses, to sue?
We are prepared to protect our elections. We've been working this. We've been doing tabletop games to make sure that anyone, whether it's ICE or Mike Lindell or anybody, tries to interfere or undermine Minnesota elections, we will be in court fighting them. We're ready to go. And we've been working on this for literally months. So we've thought about every bad thing they might try to do to undermine our elections. And I feel very confident that we will be prepared. But Mike Lindell has already been rejected. He's already been exposed. He's already been shown to be a liar and a charlatan. And he's going to get more of that. You know, the dog may have caught the car, and Mike Lindell may move from the obscure shadows and kind of a joke to a true laughingstock once Amy Klobuchar and him square off.